Rocha versus Ghai.
What matches happened this week?
So the Schmoedown is a game about schmoes.
Hell yeah.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you
Hey guys,
try.
welcome back to another Take 3 Reactor Summit. I am, of course, your intermediate host, Matthew Kearns, but you're pretty certain you're all going every other week you say Kristen Smith is coming back. Where is she? Where is she? Well, I'm starting to ask it myself, too. Hashtag, where's Kristen Smith? Get that going. But I'm still here. But thankfully, unlike maybe other videos that are posted to this channel soon, I'm not alone. Because I'm here with Robert Parker, of course, the inner geekdom master of Take 3. How are you doing today?
Is that the new official title? Is that what I should put on like job applications now? I've held that title, Energy Master. No, I'm happy to be here. I haven't been on the summit in a couple weeks, and these were some really good matches we had this week, so I'm really looking forward to discussing them with you guys.
I mean, you should put Take 3 down on your resume, considering out of all of us, you're the only person to ever get recognized.
That is true.
So, I mean, but we also have, guys, we love this person. He's our editor. He usually doesn't want to be on camera, but every so often we can force him to do it. We have Abe Flores. How are you doing today, Abe?
Bad.
Okay, so this week we had two pretty awesome matches. First up, we had the number one contenders match for singles, John Rocha versus Andrew Ghai. This match was it was very hyped for me. I hyped it up a lot in my brain. Well, let's get into it. So, of course, Rocha and Ghai, they kind of hate each other. And I mean, I have a feeling like it's real. Like some of the things they were saying just in those promos, it didn't quite feel wrestling. It felt like venting. But we get into the first round. It's a fine first round. Andrew Ghai has his lowest performing first round with, or as far as I know,
In singles.
with only 4 points. John Rocha is able to get a 2-point lead, but that's only at 6 points. So it's a fine round one. Again, as I usually say when I say this stuff, any one of these guys would kick my asses. So when I say fine first round, that's for them. We get into round two. Rocha lets Andrew Ghai go first. He spins, hits his strength Nolan, and sticks with it. However, we see the danger of going with a strength that is played a lot. And also a strength that is very, open. Like Chris Nolan is a very open one. Andrew Ghai struggles a bit. He's only able to get 3 points, and Rocha is able to steal 2 points away. Rocha goes up. He hits his strength in Westerns, and he has a pretty solid round. He's able to get 5 points. Andrew Ghai is not able to steal any from him. We go into round three. Drew hits his 2 and his 3, but he misses the 5-pointer. Rocha wins by TKO. Of course, Rocha, he's excited to play Bibiani now. Bibiani broke into his post-match interview. That was a lot of fun. Andrew Ghai kind of doesn't care. He kind of does. He kind of he doesn't care. Which, we'll get into now. The question I'll ask, and then Rob, I'll get your thoughts on the full match after you answer this, is, does it matter that Ghai lost this match? Does it affect really what he's done so far in singles?
That's a really interesting question. I don't think it affects his. He's had 3 matches, so as much of a legacy as he has made, I don't think this really affects it. He's still beaten the only 2-time champs that this league has had. He's still TKO'd Merlin. He's still TKO'd Riley. That's no small feat. Those are 2 of the best players this game's ever seen, and the fact that he TKO'd them both is still really, really, really impressive. As for him not beating Rocha, that would have meant a lot, I think, even storyline-wise. The fact that he would have beaten all 3 of the Horsemen that were former singles champs. That would have meant a lot. But I still think that Andrew Ghai's not done in singles. His run in singles isn't over. His career is not over. He suffered a small loss to Rocha, and he won't be challenging Bibiani before the singles tournament. But I wouldn't be that surprised if Ghai showed up in the singles tournament. I think that he has earned a spot, and I don't think he's done with singles for the end of the year.
Yeah, actually, in my notes, Harloff had said that Andrew Ghai is in the singles tournament. Of course, scheduling, allowing him to do it, but he does have a spot in the singles tournament. Abe, same question to you. Do you think this loss affects the storyline or the legacy that Andrew Ghai has been building in singles, or do you think it's just a speed bump that any competitor to hit, but it doesn't affect anything?
I don't think it what it's done is done, and I think what Ghai has done this season of taking off the entire league and different forms of his promos and how he's been treating a lot of people in character. There's no way to damage it. Like whatever you want. Like even Jeff Snyder and DT said it when they were in their regain as team champions. Like they were gonna lose once. Like they knew eventually what's gonna happen. And I think Ghai has the heel of the year award locked since 3 months ago of everything he has been doing. But no, I don't think it affects. I think it as a spectacle, even I would wanted to see Ghai versus Viviani just for the story point of it. But no, it does not damage it in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it damages it. I think you make a great point that at some point he was going to have to lose. And I think it also just it continues to build this Rocha Ghai storyline of they will meet in singles again, I'm sure, at some point. So Abe, what are your thoughts just overall on the number 1 contenders match?
I think it was an amazing match in my opinion. I was hoping for more war of words between those competitors because once Donica was announced as the enforcer of the matches, I was excited. I wanted to see blood between them, and I thought I don't know if they set it up we're gonna play as gentlemen this time, but I think Ghai lost by doing that if it happened because we know Rocha can get a little rattled when people get into his head, and he can make some wrong decisions through the matches, and he's not able to come out of it easily. But I think the match was good. I was hoping for more spectacle.
I do agree. I think this was a great match. I think for a number 1 contenders match, even though it ended in TKO, I still felt like it was which is so odd to say, I still felt like it was a fairly close match. It just, I do agree with you. I just feel like, and I think this more, I don't think it was Drew. I think it came more from the way Rocha went into this match is why it wasn't as much of because I think Rocha went in not wanting to play Andrew Ghai's game because he would probably lose if he did that. Personally, for as much as I respect that and understand from a competitive thing, from a viewer standpoint, it would have made me so happy to have Mark Donica standing literally in the middle of them the whole time, have them nearly punch it, and just have just having Donica just stand there silent the whole match would have just been hilarious. So Rob, to get your thoughts on the match overall, but do you think there was, with the Donica, I guess not really reveal, but surfing, do you think there was a lost joke there? Do you think they didn't go as far with that as they could have?
Yeah, I agree completely there. I understand that it just didn't come together, but I definitely think that could have added just another layer to the match. And once again, I think you're exactly right when you said that John Rocha doesn't want to play Andrew Ghai's game in this match because he knew that he might lose the messing with the head. Both of these players have done it, have gotten in their opponents' heads. Andrew Ghai does it better than anybody. And I think Rocha knew that going in, and he knew that he just wanted to stay level-headed and not, while in the match, didn't want to talk too much trash. And I definitely think it would have added another layer of entertainment having Donica there trying to separate them, but that's neither here nor there. I still think it was an entertaining match, and even though it did end by TKO, I still never felt that Ghai was out of it. And some TKOs, it's going to be over. The competitor themselves in round 3 sometimes seems to just accept fate. Ghai never accepted fate. He kept fighting, he kept clawing for every single point the entire match, which is really admirable watching the match.
I mean, let's be honest. For his first time ever having to play in the 3rd round in singles, Drew performed as well as a lot of other people, which is you hit your 2, you hit your 3, you miss your 5. And you know what? Listen, I knew Extraordinary Measures, but that's because when I was younger, I was a crazy Brendan Fraser and Harrison Ford fan, and there was a movie they were in together, so you knew I was going to see it. And when I say kid, I know that movie came out when I was in, like, middle school. Abe, you're giving me a look like that movie didn't come out that long ago. I was still in my Brendan Fraser phase when I was in middle school. Don't blame me. But I think also with his post-match with Bibiani, I think we saw everything John Rocha was holding back with Andrew Ghai in the match just unleashed. Like, I felt like that was just all this bottled up, like, I'm not going to talk to him. I'm not going to talk to him. Which was hilarious, and I can't wait to, which I really, please guys, you might have forgotten it. I didn't. Please keep this stipulation, which if you forgot, before the Ultimate Schmoedown tournament last season, John Rocha and William Bibiani made a bet. William Bibiani beat John Rocha. John Rocha had to give his cowboy hat to William Bibiani. If William Bibiani lost to Rocha, William Bibiani would have to kiss Rocha's boots. Please keep it. It would just be so funny if they... Okay, moving on.
And then Sam Levine beat both of them.
Yeah, thanks, Sam, for ruining our fun. Congrats on the belt. Love you and Freaks and Geeks, but come on, man. Although, to be honest, it's better that I did that because it's going to be a lot more fun if, like, Bibbs beats Rocha, then he has to give him the hat while having the belt, or William Bibiani has to give him the belt and then get down and kiss his boots. So maybe it's for... You know what, actually? Thank you, Sam. We still love you in Freaks and Geeks. Streaming on Netflix right now. Hashtag cancel too soon.
I never seen Rocha wearing boots. He always just uses like shoes.
Okay, then...
That's going to be the next question in the, like, Schmoedown.
I don't know. He has to kiss his puffy vest.
What brand of shoes was Rocha wearing when he take the belt away from Bibiani?
Whatever shoes he happens to
Whatever shoes he has on.
Sandals, flip-flops, whatever it is.
What is he, Josh McCouga? He's wearing sandals? Okay, moving on to the next match, the Champs Lunch match, as I like to call it. Of course, it's Who's the Boss versus Crazy 8 Greats, which is, of course, Who's the Boss, the greatest team that has ever been formed since Clark Wolf and Mark Riley and Andrew Ghai and Ben Bateman, is, of course, funnily enough, Mark Riley and Ben Bateman are on a team with not Tom Dagnino, but Mr. Bobby Finstock as their manager. First thing we need to get into, I am freaking in love with the storyline they're going with, of the fact of, like, Riley has not turned heel, and Finstock and Bateman have not turned face. You literally have 2 heels and a face, and just Riley... I'll get into that at the end of the match, actually. Crazy 8 Greats, of course, Haley Fouch and Eric Zipper, which I actually thought was a pretty good team-up from the picking of the hat. So we go in. We had a really good round 1 from both of these teams. It ends 13-10. Riley has a near perfect round. I will never watch Nightmare Before Christmas the same way again. Anger. But yeah, just it was a really, really exciting first round to start the match with. We go into round 2. Who's the Boss lets Crazy 8 Greats spin first. They hit James Bond first, but because they, as I think it was Harloff said, they are not Mike Kalinowski, they spun away from it, and they hit comic book movies, which Eric Zipper was looking for. However, kind of like what we saw in the Ghai Rocha match, a strength that has been played a lot. It was a very open one. You can have a fine round 2 with, which they had a fine round 2. They gained 7 points. Who's the Boss was able to steal 2 points away from them. Who's the Boss go up. They hit new releases. They're a little iffy if they want to go with it, and then they decide to stick with it, and they have a really good round. They get 10 points, and the round ends 25-17. Going to round 3, Crazy 80 Greats is able to hit all of their questions. Who's the Boss? Riley goes up first. He misses the 2-pointer. Ben goes up. He hits the 3-pointer, and the match ends 30-27. Getting to post-match interviews, Riley and Ben are excited with how they perform. The teamwork Finstock is being Finstock. Crazy 80 Greats, they thought they had a good match. And then kind of like what's going to happen with a lot of the Anarchy matches where people lose, there's this thing of, well, are we going to be a team again? Who knows? I think in this case, they're not going to be a team. I think they both especially Zipper. I don't think he would leave Winston at this point right now. But, Rob, I'm going to ask, what were your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, I think the story of this match is exactly what you said, Matt. Just the sort of fact that nobody who was a face is turning heel, and nobody who was a heel is turning face as far as who's the boss is concerned. That's a really great dynamic that we got to see unfold. I love that we're getting Finstock instead of Tom Dagnino as their manager. I thought he's just my favorite manager of all time, of course, because how can you not love him? But yeah, Who's the Boss handled the match really well. Not only were their characters really coming out, and then was there conflict there at some points between face Riley and heel Bateman, but they also collaborated really well as far as the questions were concerned. And we saw how they worked in round 2. They weren't sure if they were going to take new releases. It took them probably 10 minutes to decide before they finally said yes. And then finally they did say yes, and they almost ran the board with that category. They did extremely well. That's the kind of team that you like seeing, one that's going to, take their time, decide what category to stick with, and then do really great no matter what. So this is a really entertaining match. I thought Haley Fouch still put up a good showing. Same with Eric Zepper. They're a really solid team. They just weren't quite enough on this day.
Yeah, I agree. I think they were a great team. I'm going to keep my thoughts until the end because I have so many. So, Abe, what are your thoughts on this match overall?
There's several things that excite me about this match when I was watching it. The first thing was seeing Finstock as the manager. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting Bobby Gucci, and that made me wonder, can we see Finstock and Bobby Gucci as managers in the Anarchy tournament? Because Jay Washington is managing French's Force with Sabina Graves and Edwin Arwan. So let's keep our hopes high that we can see Finstock and Bobby Gucci as managers in the same tournament. Also, seeing my Riley play brilliantly as he usually does in the first round, that excited me because I really enjoy seeing Riley playing, and seeing a team that nobody was I think expecting to win, like Haley and Zipper, working out together and maybe, in my opinion, stealing the spotlight from Who's the Boss in this match, because seeing you can tell they never met each other before in the pre-match interview. They were how you talk, I talk. I can feel that. And also in the post-match interview was Jen doing the post-match? Will you guys
no,
be a
it was
team?
Brienne.
Oh, Brienne, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Brienne asking them, will you be a team together again? And they look at each other sure. We don't know. With all the respect to Karen Mulligan and Winston Marshall, I really like the team that Haley and Zipper formed. And before this match, I was thinking, who's the best team that we've seen on the tournament so far? And I was thinking the Paddington 2 with Duralde and Atchity. But I think these are probably 1 and 2 after that match. Who's the Boss number 1, and even though they're not continuing the tournament, the Crazy 88s are the number 2 so far.
Yeah, they definitely. I did get the sense of not that they met 5 minutes before, but you do get the sense that these were 2 people who maybe ran into each other at Collider. Whereas with Riley and Bateman, they've seen each other before a lot. Of course, Ben Bateman was on an episode of the Riley Roundtable, which drops every Thursday on the Collider Podcast YouTube channel and on the One-on-One Collider Podcast channel on any Apple or Android podcast where you can find them. Just little plugs here and there. So you already knew that they had a chemistry. They knew the strengths and weaknesses of each other, whereas you definitely got this sense of Falcon Zipper kind of were just... It kind of was they just learning the ropes as you go, but I still thought they were great. But of course, who's the man? Who's the boss? People thought I was crazy when I had Who's the Boss going all the way to the finals and winning because, oh, are they going to be able to work off each other? Oh, are they going to be able to compliment each other? Boom! They do that. And they also do the thing that I knew with Finstock or Tom as their manager, which is Ben and Finstock will spend the whole time getting into the other competitors' heads. Riley just has to sit there and just play the match. And we saw when he doesn't have to be focused on having to try to play in someone's head or trying to play against that, when he just has to focus on the trivia, he is fantastic. Of course, Ben played so well. His heel persona really came to shine in this match, I think. In the same way Ghai, with his Merle match, defined what his heel is going to be. I think Bateman's starting to really define the sort of he's kind of and this is going to be a really odd comparison, he's kind of like a Patrick Bateman kind of heel. He's very slick back, I'm kind of cool, but I'm also crazy and I will kill you trivia-wise. And then, of course, Finstock being their manager, greatest thing ever, but nothing would make me happier if in their next match it's Tom Dagnino. It's not Finstock, it's Tom. And then it's Finstock, and then next, he just, whatever he wants to show up as. And I mean, the meatball sub at the beginning and the end was the best thing in the world. Because it's such a... I missed Finstock from the Schmoedown so much. Just that, just odd things that he would be stuck on. And also, I love Jen. She is amazing. Can we please get Brienne to do post-match interviews more often? Because she is so good at them. She's awesome. Brienne is just awesome. So yeah, overall, I was really excited with how the match was. I thought it was a really close match, and I'm just happy that Who's the Boss won it. But going off that, as we're recording today is a very special person's birthday. It is, of course, none other than Bobby Gucci himself, Tom Dagnino's birthday. So I thought a fun thing to do is, what's your favorite Finstock or Tom moment in Schmoedown history? I have mine, so I guess I'll go first. My favorite Tom moment, it is the live show when he shows up in the middle of the match and just walks up on stage, just takes the mic and just does that. He's wearing the giant winter coat and the dolphin hat. He doesn't care. He's just there and he's I'm here now. Makes his presence known. Of course, you have my favorite Schmoedown gift that Schmoedown Gifts has made, which is, I don't like this line of questioning. So just Tom at the first live event is my favorite. I'm sorry I sprung this on you guys. If you can't figure it out,
I have mine. Absolutely.
Okay, Rob.
It is at Schmoedown Spectacular 2 during the Manager Bowl. When there was some controversy about Emma's 5-pointer, and it's another GIF. It's the "You're a baboon" line, or "You're buffoon," one of the two.
No, it's "You're a baboon." Yeah, well, you're a buffoon.
Yeah, exactly. That is my favorite moment of Tom Dagnino Finstock in the Schmoedown.
Jumping off that before we go to Abe, another big one is from that same one, which is just necessity, not a necessity.
Yeah.
Abe, what's your favorite Tom Finstock moment?
This goes back to the after bus era, the trial of JT, especially
Yes.
that he opens I believe in trial and error.
Trial and error. And if my client is on trial,
this is
it's an error. Yeah.
That made me laugh so hard the first time I watched it, and that's the only reason I go back and watch that episode of that special the Schmoedown and tank, like that
and by the way, I
the true
apologize
force
for
of
taking over on that.
fine.
But it's literally because I made a whole video of Tom Dagnino as Anakin, so I have so many sound clips that I had to listen to try and pick. But yeah, Abe, you know what else, Abe? You know whatever more from the AfterBuzz era I'm probably thinking of that's also a great one?
What?
Just playing your history. What was his first match?
Oh, I know.
I mean, it's when he proposes to Tiffany with the slow mug. First he comes in with the Hannibal Lecter mask and like the beard mask through the Hannibal Lecter, and then it's just like, okay, are you ready to go? And then it's just no. You know, I called your dad and I was like, hey, this is Finstock. It's like, yeah, I know who you are. And then like later on in the match, she touches his back and he like puts his hand on her leg and she's like, nope, I'll do the touching. I'm so happy Finstock's back. So Tom Dagnino, Finstock, we here at Take 3, we love you. We endlessly support you, and thank you for keeping the Schmoedown just endlessly entertaining with your crazy awesomeness. All right, so moving on, we're gonna first go over to my roommate Vinny with the fantasy updates. Vinny, take it away.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's Vinny here. It's Vinny. And, just got back from a really wicked party with Clement, and Tommy was so bad. But I'm here with your fantasy updates. So, in first place, we got Super X team with by 679 points. Second place, we got Team Quaggy. I still don't know what a Quaggy is, but they got 644 points. Third place, we got Martins and Schmoeboys. Schmoeboys, they got 604 points. In fourth place, we got the loser Matt in the OD Alliance with 445 points. In fifth place, we got Tiny Carrots, and he's got 375 points. And finally, in sixth place is Chrissy the Clock with the Penguins with only 347 points. Chrissy, what are you doing? So that's it. You can follow me at VinStallone76 on Twitter, and also check out my buddy Kermit the Frog at Kermit the Frog on Twitter, and Tommy. So I don't know what his Twitter handle is, but get out of here.
Thank you, Vinny, so much for those fancy updates. And where's my friend? Anyway, we have some news that dropped actually this week, which is for the Ultimate Schmoedown Singles Tournament. Christian Harloff let everyone know that there's only going to be 8 competitors this year. Last year, there was an astonishing 16 competitors. This year, we only have 8. Real quick around the board, Abe, what are your thoughts on it being an 8-person tournament again, like it was when it in the 2016 tournament?
You know, I understand the reasoning behind it because of the schedule and everything, but this is just the reason I have it. My favorite league is the singles league, and I love it. I will see singles matches like every single day. And this is just a definition. This is the summary of this tournament, where the singles league, for some reason, I don't know why, has taken a step back, and we have the team league and the inner kingdom before it. And even I understand the reasoning. I wish, like I'm not mad at it, but it's just like the summary of this season for me. And about the people that are gonna be in it, confirmed, Erwin and Morrow. I commented on that post, like, if you had some people like, I don't know, Mark Andreco, Jeff Snyder, Clark Wolf, Rachel Cushing, Drew McQueenie, you have Mark Riley, you have probably the hardest tournament to guess, because these people can kill each other out of 10 matches, they win 5. Like, their level of playing for each one, like, there's no one better than than anyone. Like Merle can defeat I don't know, Rachel one day, and Rachel can kick the ass of I don't know, my Queenie the other day. And I'm wondering who's gonna be in it. So I guess we'll speculate of it later.
Yeah, Rob, what are your thoughts on the tournament going back to the 8-person format?
Yeah, I'm with Abe completely. I completely understand the reasoning because of scheduling and things like that, and you have to get through the tournament. Like, obviously, I completely understand it from that aspect. But as a fan of the show, I would love to see a 16-person tournament with 16 of the greatest players of all time, ones that have been out of retirement for a long time, people like Irwin and Riley, and new blood, people like Irwin, people like Ghai, Lon Harris. Like, I would love a big tournament with the best players that the league has. I think no matter what, because you only have 8 people, you're leaving out at least 5 of the best players of all time. No matter what, regardless, no matter who is in, no matter which 8 players are in that tournament, you're missing out on at least 5 of the best. So I think it's kind of unfortunate, but I completely understand it, and I'm going to watch and love the tournament regardless. I just feel like if it were 16 people, if it were a bigger tournament, we could really see some bonkers matchups.
Can I say something? If it was a 16-person tournament, it would be like a class of generations, because we have Rocha, we have Riley, we have Merle back. Those people are definitely we have Snyder, a veteran now, and we will be having new blood like Janine, like Erwin, like Ghai, like Harris, like new people. It's like, what's the best generation? That will be the passion of the tournament.
That's kind of my thought is, of all the seasons, to not have it be 16 people, not this one, because last year, by that point, Riley and Merle, they stepped back. Ben and Drew hadn't made a run at singles. People like Janine and Irwin hadn't competed yet.
Irwin and Harris, like none of those people have competed
this
yet.
Year. We've had so many great new people who have gone from teams to singles or who have just appeared in singles. We've had great people return. I understand completely why you don't do it, because scheduling and uploads, and we would probably, to get 16, we would have to have a Schmoedown literally every day, and that is just insane to ask of the editors and people who work so hard on the Schmoedown, to ask them to do that. But I'm trying to choose my words, because I do understand, but there is we're gonna miss out on some crazy matchups that could have happened, and we're still gonna have some great matchups, but just, man, this year, like Abe said, this would have been the generations. We would have seen people like Merle go up against Irwin. We would have seen Ghai go up against Snyder. Maybe, again, depending on how the bracket fell. But I am still extremely excited for seeing. We already have 3 confirmed now. Well, Drew is confirmed pending schedule, but pretty much we have Merle, Drew, and Irwin, and probably Bibbs or Rocha, depending on who wins. So we'll see how it works. But beyond that, there was no other news that dropped this week except for Mark Riley's ring rust is gone. So we're looking into next week, the matches we have. Continuing with the Anarchy tournament, we have, first off, we have Wild Bears versus Evil Geniuses. That is, of course, Lon Harris and JT. Very excited for this match. And then we have the team of Brianne Chandler and Drew McWeeny versus the team of Whitney Seibold and Hewick. I don't quite know who you are. So, Abe, I'll go to you first. Your thoughts on next week's matches, because I think this is the week of Abe. This is the week of... Whereas this was the week of Matt, this is the week of Abe.
I want the Wild Bears to win. I really do, because I love the Wild Bears. And they will be 3-0 this season. Will you believe that? If they win, they will be 3-0 this season.
I'd be so happy.
Yeah, but they're not defeating Lon and TT. DT and Lon are way better competitors than Maku and Elliot. Well, even though Maku has beaten JT, but that I think JT and Lon are the more interesting pairing in this tournament because like you see their match, like they complement each other's knowledge. I don't think Lon knows anything about Stallone movies, but JT does. I don't think JT knows anything about, I don't know,
50s.
the French New Wave, but I think Lon knows a lot about it. So I think the Evil Genius is winning, and for Take the Cannoli and Brothers, I believe is the team of Hewitt and Cyborg. You know, Drew McQueenie, he's the team champion, and he's gonna win the tournament again with Brian as its partner, and they're gonna take the belts away from, as much as it hurt me to say it, from Clark and Rachel at Spectacular.
Oh, wow. Those are some big words you're saying there.
Hot take.
Nobody believes it. I chose above the line to win the tournament last year, and they won it. Like a new team winning the tournament. They were like number 15 seed, and they won the tournament. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, that's different. The Steel should have won, but that's beyond the point. Rob, what are your thoughts on next week's matches?
This is actually really interesting because I have JT and Harris winning the whole thing in my bracket. I think JT and Harris are the most underrated team in this entire tournament. For the reasons Abe said, they complement each other perfectly. I think JT and Harris are going to win this tournament in the finals against Who's the Boss. But I have Seibold and Hewitt winning. I am taking the Dark Horse team. McWeeny and Chandler, I think, are a good team. Each of them individually has good players and have good accolades. Chandler, obviously, the free-for-all winner this year. McWeeny, a team champion. But I'm going on a hunch that Seibold, we've seen what he can do with Critically Acclaimed as a team. He got a perfect first round in his first time out ever. I think Seibold has some amazing movie knowledge. And Hewitt, I also don't know much about, but I'm just going on a hunch. I'm taking a Dark Horse win on Seibold and Hewitt. So I think JT and Harris are going to go all the way in this tournament. And I think McWeeny and Chandler, I think that's going to be an incredibly close match, but I just don't quite think they're going to pull it off.
I Wild Bears versus Evil Geniuses is going to be such an entertaining match. My bracket says Evil Geniuses win, but nothing would make me happier than have it be the Wild Bears breaking my bracket. Oh my god, I can't wait for this match. I can't wait to see what Lana and JTF cooking up. I really hope Cody is still involved somehow. He still is the student of Lon. Bram McWeeny versus Seibold and Hewitt. I don't know who Hewitt is. I know Whitney Seibold is a really good competitor. But Bran and McWeeny, I think, as a team, really complement each other really well. I think that, listen, and this is not being mean, I don't think Drew McWeeny knows dance movies like Brian Chandler does. They really do fill each other's gaps in a good way. So I do think that Brian and McWeeny are gonna walk away. But eventually they'll lose to Who's the Boss if they make it that far.
I'm pretty sure McWeely's a very good dancer.
He might be. You know what? We'll probably see better in their entrance. I have a feeling like there's gonna be some dancing going on there. See, I would have tried to predict Brienne's entrance, but Brienne Chandler, the wonderful goddess's run-on entrances she is, they're unpredictable in the best way possible. The battle of entrance of the year between her and Bibiani this year is it's gonna be something. Because I'm pretty certain that if she goes far with Drew McWeeny, if they make it spectacular, boy, is she going to have something huge planned. Okay, so the last thing we have to talk about is what has just dropped as we're recording this, and it will be already available when this episode airs. Since 2014, the one question everyone has asked and is wanting to see is Christian Harloff versus Mark Ellis. Which schmo knows more? We were this close to having it. If JT beat Makuga in 2016, we were going to get Ellis versus Harloff. But of course, we had the upset. We had Makuga beat him. We're finally at a point where we're getting this match. I'll go first. I love both of these guys. I think Harloff's going to win this. I think, one, Harloff was the singles champ. And for as hard as it is to be teams champ, it's also, I think it's a little bit harder to be. Sometimes it depends. I think you can make an argument about which is harder. Personally, I think singles. That's not to diminish winning a team belt, but I also think Ellis, we've seen, he's not hosting as much because he's doing movie talk. He has his comedy shows. Harloff is just around the Schmoedown so often. He's reading so many questions. He's just, because the thing is, Schmoedown is not just movie trivia, it's the game. Harloff has been around the game since they both ever retired. Harloff's been around the game a little bit more than Ellis, and I think that's going to give him the advantage. Rob, how crazy is this that this is happening? And I'm not going to force you to pick if you can't, but if you could, who do you think?
Sure. Yeah, so this is insane that it's happening. I'm so happy that I am a patron, that I can watch this match. I am incredibly happy that we're finally getting it. We're finally getting Harloff versus Ellis. And my pick is Harloff as well. For the exact same reasons. You took the words right out of my mouth. I really think that Harloff has just been around the game more, around the Schmoedown more, around questions more often recently than Ellis has, and I think that gives him the edge.
Abe, who do you think's gonna win this one?
Okay, I'm gonna be the dark sheep right here. I think both of them are, in terms of knowledge, they're pretty much the same. But I think what we've seen like from a long time, I think Mark Ellis is a better player. Like overall, like he knows when to go to multiple choice and everything. And it's a five round match, so that makes me go with Ellis winning the match and defeating the Dark Heart.
Okay, yeah. Listen, guys. If you're a $10 patron, you get the match now. You got it on the day it dropped. If you are anywhere below that, like I'm a $3 patron, you get it in 2 weeks. So you can literally pay $1 for this month. In 2 weeks, you'll get the match, and then if you want to cancel, you can cancel, or you can keep paying the $1, because literally every dollar does help the Schmoedown. The reason why we're getting this match is because we're helping to support. Like, that's the thing, is you're paying for this match. Like, if you're a patron, you're the reason why this match is happening. So if you can spare $1 for this month and you really want to see this match, do it. Or if you can, if your finances aren't there, you know what? I understand that. I was like that a couple months ago. I didn't have the ability to support it. But if you can spare the $1 and you really want to see this match and help, even just for a month, that $1 may help them hit, a gap that they need to hit. That's my spiel on Patreon. I'm finished with that. So that is our show. Thank you to my wonderful panel. And where can the good people find you online, Rob?
You want me to redo this?
Yes.
Okay, that's totally okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you can find me personally on Twitter and Letterboxd at RBRTPRKR98. That's my first and last name, no vowels plus a year. You can find me on the weekly podcast I do with my friend Zach Ford, where we talk movies, music, and other pop culture nonsense. That's called Fireside Chit Chat. Can be found everywhere podcasts are listened to. And you can find me doing admin and hosting duties here on Take 3 Productions, including every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, where me, Linus Babcock, and Cody Newberry host the Take 3 watch-alongs every Wednesday night. We pick a movie and watch along live with you in the chat.
All right. And Abe, where can the good people find you, our wonderful editor?
Okay, I'm just gonna say we are reshooting that and Robert nailed the first time he plugged himself, and I actually drank ketchup, which I'm not doing again. But you can follow me on Twitter at AbrahamApp25. Don't ask me.
Did you hear that? I'm the worst. I'm so
Yes, you
sorry.
did. It's okay. I'm the worst. I'm the worst of everyone. But you can find me being the worst on Twitter at Courage_Matthew. You can also find me on YouTube at MattMovies611. You can also find me right here as the co-host of Rhyme and Reason. New episode just dropped on me and Sandy, our top 5 sports movies. You can also find me still here as the intermediate host of the Reactors Summit. This has been a really great episode. A lot of great matches have just happened. A lot of great matches are coming to the Schmoedown. And of course, Take 3 will be here summiting all of them. I don't know. We should really figure out a verb for the Reactors Summit because marketing. But until next time, on behalf of my whole panel, take care.
I drank it.